Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Did you see the skies last night? A lot of people sharing photographs of the northern lights. Apparently they got down into New Mexico and Texas. I don't know. Maybe I just can't remember. I'm getting old, but I don't remember seeing it this many times just in the last few years, last say 2 years. How many times have we seen the northern lights, at least as far south as where I'm at, and even down into Texas and even Mexico? Now it's happened before, sure. It's happened many times before. It just seems like it's happening a lot more often because of solar activity. Also, very likely the weakening of the electromagnetic field around the planet, which is, something I've talked about off and on, that there is a belief, and I tend to lean this way, that a lot of this craziness, a lot of the Agenda 2030, all that stuff is being pushed really hard because I think some people and higher ups believe that there is a reset coming, not a political or a financial or anything like that, but there's a planetary reset coming. Who knows? But anyways, there'll be a video at the end of this video, little snippet. So stay to the end of the video. Your good friend, our good friend, Sarah, the soap lady, she's got a video that she put together, and so I'm going to play it at the end of it. It's just a short one, so go ahead and stick around and watch that if you will. I put it on the other day. Some of you stayed long enough to the end of the video to see it, so I'll put it again today. This is actually her shirt design, and I like it. I told her I'm going to steal this thing. This is kind of how I feel on this channel. I'm here to feed the sheep, not entertain goats. Oh goodness! So the battle carrier group USS Ford is now in the Caribbean. It's been making its way down there because of the potential hostilities with Venezuela, and it's in the area. And Venezuela has now gone on high alert. They claim that they have activated 200,000 of their troops. They're on the coastline, and they are getting ready for war. And I mean, it's still, even though it's not the hot topic every day in the news, it's, if you dig through it, you'll see that there's still a lot of stuff going on. We're still building up, troops down there. We're still doing a lot of training missions and everything. And we're still sinking boats in the Caribbean, over there in the Pacific. We're doing that pretty regular now, and it's caused some international partners, there's a fancy word for you, to stop sharing intelligence. The United Kingdom and Colombia yesterday said that they're no longer going to be sharing intelligence with the United States because some of that intel is being used to sink these boats, and they're saying that we can't, that this is, we have no legal authority to do that. There's still a question of, are they all drug running boats? I mean, it does appear to be that way, but even if they are, do we have the authority to just go around in international waters and, dropping bombs on random boats, regardless of what they're doing? I don't know. I do think that it's all still a premise for and an excuse to mount an invasion and to try to unseat the Venezuelan president so that we can take their oil and resources and dominate that region. Because here's the deal. I really don't doubt that there's, drugs on board of most of these boats and everything, or even all of them. But it is a dramatic show, and the amount of taxpayer dollars spent to coordinate all this and then drop a bomb that's, sometimes can be hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. Most of those I don't think are in the millions, but still, for what ends up being not, a very, very tiny fraction of all the drugs coming into the United States. Most of the drugs that come into the United States, the big bulk of them, are coming in at our ports, not, in little boats that are, buzzing around in the water. So anyways, that's just opinion. We'll get moving on. So the president has taken some heat in the last few days because there's been a lot of strange things being said. And even a lot of his supporters are starting to fracture. He had a Muslim terrorist that just a year ago was on the FBI's top most wanted list. This guy has orchestrated the murder of many people, including Christians and Americans and everything. He's he's still Al-Qaeda member, one of the head people of Al-Qaeda. But of course now he's been placed in by, our people, government, as the president of Syria. And so we have him in the White House. But then there's other things, the president's talking about a 50-year home mortgage. That really did not set well with most people. So we're just going to be, slaves to the banks even longer. The average person, even if you purchase young, 30, that's young. You purchase a home at 30 years old, you'd be lucky to make it to the payoff. You're talking 80 years old before the thing's paid off. And then think about that, the way things are going with Social Security and retirements and everything. Will you really have the money to be paying on that mortgage when you're 70 and 80 years old? And then you lose your home and you're in your 70 or 80 years old and you're homeless because you can't pay it anymore because of not having enough retirement. There's all, plus the fact that you're paying 3 and 4 times the original price for the house because of interest. So the banks are just owning it and making lots of money. You'll own nothing and be happy. But there's been other things. He is reiterated allowing 600,000 Chinese students into this country to go to college because he says that there's not enough Americans to go, and if we don't allow these Chinese to come into the country, that some colleges will close down and not be able to make it. And then he talked about the H-1B visas of people coming into this country, and he made a statement that there's just not enough capable, talented, smart people in this country, and so that's why we have to bring in more immigrants into this country to fill those jobs. That didn't sit very well with the American people, both conservative, MAGA, and otherwise. So the president's had kind of a rough week. There's been a couple other things too, but he's had kind of a rough week. And I think people are starting to see some fracturing in his image. I think people are starting to get tired of seeing all the flashing around of gold and parties at Mar-a-Lago and the big temple that he's building next to the White House, while Americans are struggling. And they are struggling. There's a lot of misinformation and flat out lies. Yesterday the White House press secretary stated that data is showing that prices are going down, and they used as an example, it just slipped my mind, but one of the home delivery food services. I can't even think of which one it was, but where you order from a restaurant and they deliver it to your home. But anyways, I can't, we don't have anything like that. I've never used that stuff, but I can't remember which one it was. But anyways, they used data that company put out to say that restaurant prices are down and grocery prices are down. When in fact, if you go and you look at the data that company put out, and it actually says the opposite. It does show a couple of things that's gone down, but overall, everything's showing the prices are increasing. So there's a lot there, and I'm telling you folks, the reason why I'm saying all this, because I know this sounds like I'm getting very political and that, oh, it's the Trump derangement syndrome, blah, blah, blah. Just stop. been trying to tell you all for years, and many of you get it, you understand, that they're two sides of the same coin. Is there a difference between Donald Trump and Joe Biden? Absolutely. Just like there's a difference between Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, and Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. Sure, there's differences, but in the end, their end goals are the same. They're puppets playing a part in a play. They are controlled by other people, and in the end, their job is to fulfill a certain part of the play, a part of the plan to get the world to a certain place, and they're both doing that, and so, or they've all done that, and we need to realize that in their mind, we're just pawns, we're just ants. And stop believing that there's some master plan that's just going to save us all. There is a master plan that's going to save us all. It's in the Bible. You need to read it. You need to read it often. That's the plan that's going to save us all. There's no plan that a politician has, regardless of who they are, that's going to save anyone. And that's why we have to be more self-sufficient. We have to break those bonds. For years now, off and on this channel and other venues, I have talked about what I call cultural secession, meaning that we have to secede from this culture and this society and build our own alternative, kind of like Noah and the Ark, right? We have to think of ourselves as Noah and the Ark, and that we are building our ark. And that means our own circles, our own society, our own community. And it doesn't, I'm not talking about anything radical. I'm talking about the community where you're at, like where I'm at. The physical community around me exists on a daily basis and works fine and does great things and isn't dependent necessarily on the government to do those great things. Yes, there's regulations and there's funding and things like that, but the point is that we don't need the big elites and the oligarchs in our lives. We don't need their spying, DNA altering, artificial intelligence, quantum computings, and digital currencies. Even though they'll tell us we need that, we must realize that this system that is being built, I believe firmly, is the building blocks, the foundation for the beast system. Is it exactly the beast system? Maybe not, but it is what the beast system will be built upon. And we have to realize that and stop being dependent upon these people, these parties, these fanatical movements, and that this one guy is going to save everything. Gotta stop that. Because it's not going to happen, folks. We have to be pursuing our own independence and not believing that these people are going to fix things. It's not going to happen. It's historically not ever happened. It's biblically not happening. And far too many good people get wrapped up in, this belief that someone's going to save us. Even already now, amongst, conservative Republican MAGA crowd. Well, now it's the next guy, it's going to be J.D. Vance or whatever, that's going to, carry on and really fix everything. And it's absurd. And, I'm not saying any one of these people are bad or worse than the other. It's just, they're all part of a game to control us. And we need to realize that, and that's why the lies and the corruption and everything is so commonplace and so much everywhere. No matter, every president pretty much, as part of their platform, is to end corruption in Washington D.C. I mean, I'm almost 50. As far back as I can remember, every politician from presidents to Congress and Senate, they're gonna go to Washington and fix the corruption, right? I've never seen corruption in Washington, D.C. or even state houses reduce. So they just go there and become part of it. And stop believing that these people are going to save us. Get out there and plan your own independence. Work on it, train, run drills with your family, have stockpiles, create your own little ark, folks, and do that with people that you know and trust around you. Because that's, aside from your spiritual salvation with Jesus, with Yeshua, that's the only thing that's really going to save you, folks. Need to be getting ready. Get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and here's Sarah the Soap Lady.
Hey guys, thank you Travis for letting me hop into one of your videos here. I am Sarah the Soap Lady that Travis talks about all the time. Some of you guys actually know me in person from coming to the meetings and interacting with me, and some of you guys actually have already know me through my channel and orders and stuff like that. So I just wanted to take a moment and thank you guys for all the love and support. I mean, whether you're not buying, but maybe you're over there on my YouTube channel, Grafted in Grace Homestead, and commenting and liking and sharing videos, or you're actually ordering through the store at Grafted in Grace Creations. I just wanted to take this time as we get closer to closing out the year and everybody starts to get busy to stop and thank you guys, because without you, the YouTube channel and the store really just wouldn't exist. So because the bulk of everything started with the prepared homestead, I wanted to at least come in and give you guys a personal message and also let you know it is that time of year where we're going to have the big year-end sale. So if you use Grafted 20 instead of Grafted 15, it will get you 20% off your order at the end of, for the next, I think we're going to run it till about the second week of December. So if you go ahead and put your order in now, that way I can get everything done before the post office and everybody just comes to a grinding halt. I know last year we had some issues where USPS decided to punt kick everybody's packages to them. A lot of stuff got broken, so I've actually switched over my provider this year to UPS in hopes to maybe we cut down on some of that. But I did want to just come in and thank you guys and say how much I appreciate you and love the support. Even if you're not buying stuff, just the feedback, the commentary, the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all of that. I really do appreciate you. So thank you so much for all you have done. And from my homestead to wherever you are, thank you. Please stay warm, and I hope to see you next time.